YouTube, Planet Aquarium MN, bringing you a quick video update showing you guys the Rescaped 75 here. Things are progressing pretty good with this tank. I had a little bit of a hit this weekend, took a step back. But overall I really like how this is turning out. Picked up a lot of new plants for this tank. Pretty disappointed in the quality of the new plants that I got, other than the HC or the dwarf baby tears that I picked up from Fired Up Aquatics. Bought some other plants from a gentleman off the Planet Tank forum. They didn't come in nearly in the condition or size that I'd like to see, but it is what it is. Got some red mini here. Picked those 3 stems up from the guy on the Planet Tank forum, and they just aren't doing squat, and I really hope it bounces back. Looks like there's some new growth finally coming out of the tips of those, but picked up a few stems of stargrass, and that's melted back to pretty much nothing right here. The HC I just have tied on to some rock right now. I'm not sure where in the scape I'm going to work that HC in. Picked up some Rotala macranda. It's switching right now. It's right in the middle of switching from immersed growth to submerged growth. But that's looking okay. The Pogostemon erectus, 3 stems of that's looking okay. Ludwigia inclinata tornado back here, or curly, that stem looks like crap. I hope that hangs in there. I forget what this plant is right here, but that's doing okay. Rotala magenta over here, you can't really see it. They're really small stems. They came in, they were all dried out, just horrible, but it looks like finally there's some new growth coming out of the tips. You can see right there and there and right there. That's the new growth finally coming out of those. We had some repens down here melt away. Picked up what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 8 or 10 stems of that, and had a couple stems down here just melt away into nothing. But the S repens could have melted away due to a full tank H2O2 treatment that I had to do yesterday morning. Woke up and noticed I had a bunch of BGA or blue-green algae cyanobacteria starting to develop all over my Downoe up here in the front, back here on my Blixa, on the Pogostemon erectus. So I did a full tank treatment of H2O2, which I do not recommend anybody do unless you are absolutely 100% confident you know what you're doing. I did a full tank treatment of H2O2, 3% hydrogen peroxide, followed up by a triple dose of C-Chem Excel, and I do not see one speck of cyanobacteria in this tank. It's BGA free. But in the process, I lost 3 neons, 2 rasboras, 2 autosynclus, and 1 amano shrimp. So H2O2, it does a wonderful job killing algae. It does a wonderful job at knocking out cyanobacteria. But it can also destroy any plant that it comes in contact with if you leave it dwell too long. And it can also burn the gills out of your fish and kill them, which in my case, I lost some fish. Now, I've done full tank treatments of H2O2 before, and even though I've done it before and I know how to do it, I still lost fish in it. So I do not recommend it for anybody. I'm not going to advise anybody on how to do a full tank treatment of H2O2. Google it. There's a lot of posts on the web, on the Planet Tank forum. There's some posts, but I won't recommend it to anybody or advise on how to do it. But it does work, and it works great as long as you know what you're doing. But overall, I'm pleased with the scape. I like the open concept that I have now. I like that I got rid of that manzanita branch and got away from that ADA look with the Taiwan moss. It just needs a few more weeks for these plants to really fill in and start coloring out. You know, this Rotala needs to turn a little red. The mini needs to grow in. The repens needs to fill in. Hopefully the magenta comes along and fills in and puts a splash of red over here. But overall, I'm pleased with how it's looking. But I think what happened though with the BGA with that cyano, I think it was because I pulled out 60% of my plant growth in here, my plant matter. You take out that much bioload, growing bioload out of your tank, and you stir up the substrate. You're throwing your tank out of balance, and my tank definitely got out of balance. There's no question it got out of balance there. And I think that's what really sparked the BGA, and maybe it had been grown in there for a few days prior to that, or started last week, or sooner, but I just didn't happen to notice it until yesterday. And that could be a possibility, but it's BGA free now. The tank looks a lot better today. The water's real clear. The plants look a lot healthier. today, and so that's 75 right now. Over here, the 120 discus tank is doing fine. I've got 9 discus in there right now. They're all doing great. They're all growing, putting on some nice size. The Amazon swords are still looking money back there. Nothing really else to say on that tank. It's just it's doing well. The fish are happy and they're doing great. Back here in the storage room where I've got the 75 grow out, I've got 5 in here right now, and they're all doing really good except this one here. This red melon is kind of a strange little guy. I got him he was the same size as the 2 blue snake skins and the other red melon when I got them. And these guys have all put on probably 1 inch of growth and are close to it, and he has not hardly grown at all. And I'm not sure why it is, but when he goes to feed, he hardly ever gets the food in his mouth. It's like he's cross-eyed or something, I swear. He'll go after a black worm and he'll try to hit it, and he only tries each piece of food 3 times. It's kind of funny because he'll go after a piece of food and he'll try to hit it. He'll go bam, 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 and he'll try 3 times, and then he turns his back and he swims to another piece. So I've been trying to hand feed him a little bit, and it's kind of helped out. He's still healthy though. He's nice and thick. He hasn't gotten skinny at all, and he's got great colors on, but he's just not growing because I noticed he's hardly getting any of the food in. So trying to feed him more beef heart and more of the higher protein foods back here to grow, get him put some growth on. I've really slowed back on the amount of bloodworms I was feeding my fish. I just thought I was feeding way too many frozen bloodworms, and that just isn't that's not going to put size on these fish. So I'm doing more of the freeze-dried blackworms, the beef heart, and pellet and flake food now. But these guys are all doing great. Down here, the 55-gallon tank, the shrimp tank, this is looking really good right now. It's a little messy in there with all the plant growth. This is just kind of a hodgepodge of all the other plants that I had in my 75 that I took out that I didn't want, but yet I wanted to keep some of it. I mean, I've got Retrospirellus, Crips here, Ranunculus over here, Hygrophila here, Muriel Green, Taiwan moss, some Glossostigma, hornwort over here. I mean, pretty much all the rejects out of my 75 at one point or another all kind of made it in here, but the shrimp love it. They're all doing fantastic. And in fact, it's a little stirred up right now. I just did my 30% water change, my weekly water change on this tank. Pure RO, I GH it up to about 4 to 5, 0 KH, and temps at 72. But the shrimp are doing fantastic. I even have my first round of little baby shrimp that have hatched in this tank. I'm assuming they're red cherries, since a lot of the red cherries I picked up from Brian at Dolly VH came in buried up, and picked up a few others, red cherries from a couple other people as well, and some of those came in buried up as well. So pretty sure there are red cherries in here, but I see a bunch of little tiny pinhead babies. So I know things are dialed in pretty well with this tank. I also picked up 30 new Crystal Reds this week, and I know I was going to hold off for a couple months before I got Crystal Reds, but I found a really good deal. Picked up 30 more Crystal Reds for next to nothing, and they're really nice quality. They were sold to me as S grade, and I think there were only 4 or 5 in the entire lot of 30 that were S grade. Most of them were S plus and double S's, and there was even a triple S in there. So, got a really good deal, good price. So that's now a total of 60 Crystal Reds that I have in here. The red cherries, I can't even tell you how many red cherries, Sakuras, painted fire reds that I have in here. I actually culled them out this last week or a week ago and sold about 40 to 50 of them, advertised 30 to 40. Those that are they were less colorful, a lot less colorful, lighter colored females and the colorless males. Pulled 40 or 50 out of those, sold those on the Planet Tank network, or Planet Tank forum, but the ones I have in here, those that are a lot more solid red color. But the Crystal Reds are doing fantastic. They're all, growing. I'm seeing some nice molts in here. I'm just, real excited about this tank and just really enjoying the shrimp. So, but anyways, that's it from here. If you have any comments, questions, let me know. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. And appreciate everybody watching my video. And if you I think I already said that, but if you have any questions, let me know. Subscribe, and we'll catch you guys later.